Good morning dear students, welcome back to the maths class. Dear students, in the last class we have finished the chapter relations and functions. In this session I am going to start a new chapter, that is inverse trigonometric functions. Before going to discuss about inverse trigonometric functions, first you have to know inverse function. And also you have to know trigonometric functions. Already you have learned about trigonometric functions in class 11, but here just let's see first inverse function. First, a and b are two non-empty sets, and let f a to b is a bijective function. Is a bijection. If we want to define a rule, means bijective rule, which associates elements of B with their pre-images. Let G is B to A be a function which associate each element Y belongs to B to its pre-image X belongs to A. Right? That means we have f of x is equals to y implies x is equals to g of y. Here g is called as inverse function of f or inverse of f. Inverse function of f or inverse of f. Right? We can generally take like this: f a to b is a function, then inverse of function f inverse is b to a. So here we can conclude that f of x is equals to y, that implies x is equals to f inverse of y. This is called as inverse of the function f. Just in place of g, here I consider f inverse. This is about the inverse function. So now let's see trigonometric functions. Already you have studied about the trigonometric functions in class 11, but again you have to know these functions. Basic 6 functions are there: sine function, cosine function, tangent function, cotangent function, secant function and cosecant functions. These are the basic 6 trigonometric functions, and already you have learned for what values these functions are defined. So let's see first. A sine function is defined for real number to real number, and cos function is defined for real number to real number, and tan function is defined for r minus x such that x is equals to 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, and n belongs to z related to r. Okay, next, cot function defined for this value r minus x such that x is equals to n pi, n belongs to z, to r. Okay, next, secant function is defined for r minus x such that x is equals to 2n plus 1 into 5 by 2, n belongs to z, tends to r. Next, cosecant function is defined for this value r minus x such that x is equals to n pi, and n belongs to z, to r. These are the functions and these are the values useful to define sine from all trigonometric functions. Right? So you know one point here in these trigonometric functions, all the trigonometric functions repeat their values after fixed intervals. So they are neither one nor onto functions, hence are not bijective functions. If we restrict their domains and codomains, then they be made bijections and we can obtain their inverses. Okay, now we find the inverse of the trigonometric functions. Find the inverse of trigonometric functions. Inverse of trigonometric functions. So here you need to know the one point. So here all the trigonometric functions are repeat their values after fixed intervals. So that's why those are neither 1 1 nor onto. If we change the domain and codomain, then those functions will be bijective functions. Then we can easily find out the inverse of the given trigonometric function. Now let's see first function, that is inverse of sine function. Inverse of sine function. Now let's see. So first here it is inverse of sine function. Okay. So already you know it is defined for certain values. Let f is defined r to r and defined by f of x is equals to sin x, right? The function f r to r is neither 1 1 nor onto, neither 1 1 nor onto. So but the range of function f, the range of function f is equals to -1 and 1, because what we gave the input for the x, maximum the values, output values are between these two values only, -1 and 1. This is the range of sine function, right? So the function f r2 -1, 1 is onto function, right? Here f also becomes 1 1 function. 1 1 function, if we restrict its domain to interval d. 1 1 function, if we restrict its intervals to, if we restrict its domain to interval d. So here d value any one of the following. Let's see. So these domain values are -3 pi by 2, -pi by 2. So here closed brackets you need to use, -pi by 2 and pi by 2 and pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and up to so on. For these intervals the sine function is defines, right? So finally f we can write like this: certain domains to -1 to 1, right? This is function 1 1 and onto function, 1 1 and onto function. When the function is 1 1 and all 2, then it is a bijective function, right? It is a bijective function. So you know that all the bijective functions are invertible functions. Invertible functions, right? So that's why here f is domain to -1 to 1 and f inverse is, and then f inverse is -1 to 1 to domain, right? Is exist. F inverse is exist. This now the inverse of sine function is sine inverse or arc of sine, or arc of sine function. Generally we use this symbol. So now let's see the graph of sine inverse function. Based on the sine function you can draw the sine inverse function. Okay, first now let's see sine function. Let's see. So here this horizontal line represents the x-axis and this vertical line represents the y-axis. Okay, this intersection points is 0 0. Negative values, this side is positive values. So here it is, the values are 1 and -1 here. So if you draw the graph of sine function, it will come like this. Okay, this is the graph of sine function. Okay, so here this represents y is equals to sine of x. So this is valid for any type of these intervals. So we can take this interval. So here this x is valid for these values, minus 5 by 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to pi by 2. Okay, so based on this you can draw the sine inverse graph. So inverse of sine function. So this is x and this is y, intersection point. So here it is minus 1 plus 1. So inverse means just these values are changed. X values on y axis and y values on x axis, right? So that's why here it is pi by 2, then it is minus pi by 2. So just you have to take, this is the graph is like this, pi by 2 and minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is the graph. This is represents the graph of sine inverse function. Okay, so if we choose the domain for the sine function, d is equals to minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, then inverse of sine function is sine inverse of is minus 1 to 1. So here 2 minus 5 by 2 to 5 by 2. Okay, this is about the sine function. Next, inverse of cos function. Inverse of cos function. So this is also as like a sine function. Let function f is r to r defined by f of x is equals to cos x. Okay, then the function f r to r is neither 1 nor onto, because this function for the certain intervals the values are repeated. So that's why this is neither 1 function nor onto function. Then it is not a bisective function. But here the range of the function f is minus 1 and 1, right? So the function f r2 minus 1 comma 1 is a onto function, right? F also be a onto function, if we restrict the domain to certain intervals d, right? The d can be any one of the following values. For this minus 5, 0, d means here domain, and 0, pi, 2 pi, and so on. So for any kind of this kind of intervals domain, the sine function is defined. No? So for this function, for this interval, the function f d2 minus 1 to 1 is 1 and onto function. When it is 1 and onto, then it is a bisective function. When it is bisective function, then inverse is possible, right? So f inverse is possible. Now let's see. So this is the f function d2 minus 1 to 1. So f inverse is minus 1 1 tends to d is exist here. So it means cos inverse is denoted, cos inverse is existed. Cos inverse is denoted by like this, cos inverse or arc of cos. We can read like this. Okay, most of the time we have used cos inverse, right? So now let's see the graphs of sine cos function and inverse of cos function once. So already you have learned how to draw the graph of sine function and sine inverse function. Already you have learned in class 11 for sine function. Just here introduced inverse functions. Okay, so here the graph is cos inverse graph. First let's see cos x graph. Cos function graph I am going to draw first. So this horizontal line represents x-axis and vertical line represents y-axis here. So this one is intervals minus pi and pi. So this is 1, this is minus 1. So here this function represents y is equals to cos x just. So this cos x, this x is represented for certain values only. 0 to minus pi and 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi like that. So here x is represents 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to pi. For these values it is defined. So the graph of this function is like this. Graph of cos function. We get drawn like this. Okay. Now let's see the graph of cos inverse function. Graph of cos inverse function. This is 0. So here it is defined for what values? It is 0 and pi. So here it is 0, it is pi, and it is minus 1, this is 1. So graph of this one is, you can draw like this. This is the graph of cos inverse function. So y is equals to cos inverse. Okay, cos inverse x it is. So if we restrict the domain of cos function for these values 0 and pi, then the inverse of cos function is defined like this: minus 1 to 1 tends to 0 and pi. Okay, this is called as the principal value branch of the inverse sine cos function. This is called principal value branch of the inverse cosine function. Inverse cosine function. Okay. So my dear students, I hope you understand all these graphs and trigonometric functions. So if you have any doubt, you can contact me. I will explain the doubts. Okay, we'll meet in the next session. Thank you.